My Hero Academia is ending. No, it isn't. Season 3 just came out. It can't be ending. But that was... I still vividly remember the first time I watched this show. I snuck into the most private room I could on some Wednesday night when my parents were hosting friends, and I don't know why I decided to watch My Hero Academia, but that evening, I could only watch the first few episodes. The next day, I laid on the floor watching the rest of the first season in one sitting. The characters, the world, their struggle, the animation, the hype, all of it, everything was perfect. I remember watching that first season and I got this feeling that there was a greater level of entertainment and art which I had just discovered. I kept watching, and every season, every arc was better than the last. UA Tournament arc, Hero Killer Stain, Exam arc, Season 3, Training Camp, Recapturing Bakugo, the License Exam arc. By the time I watched the conclusion to Season 3 a few weeks after it aired, I knew that My Hero Academia was one of my favorite shows ever made. My taste has shifted since then, and I no longer think that MHA is one of the greatest shows ever made. I never even ended up watching the 4th season because I started reading the manga instead. And since then, 6 years have slipped out from under me, and MHA is on its 7th season and the manga is now barreling towards its conclusion. I can't help but feel nostalgic to watch such a personally and culturally important series end. Sadly, at this point, public opinion of MHA is at an all-time low. And it's not just that people want to hate, even though that's a part of it. There are legitimate reasons. This video is titled, MHA is ending, so let's talk about the final arc of the manga. The plot structure in MHA's final third has been really tough to read through. I really like this series, but I don't study its lore, so I could be getting a few details wrong. But this manga has an overly self-indulgent, all the characters come together to face the villains arc between chapters 260 and 300. 40 straight chapters of a huge raid on the villain's base. This is obviously not where the manga ended. Then after that, there's a 30 chapter arc, which I honestly think is pretty good, and extremely necessary for the characters of the manga. And after that, even though it's technically 3 arcs on the Wikipedia page, it's been one massive war arc. 100 chapters on a war arc. That is just too much. The fan inside of me enjoys how in this 100 chapter span, almost every single character throughout the series has gotten a moment. But it's just too long. When it's all said and done, My Hero Academia will probably have around 430 chapters. 25% of the series will have been spent on this arc. And this is only made even worse by the fact that there was, again, that self-indulgent, all the heroes come together arc right before the finale. If everything about this arc had been absolutely perfect, it still would have been bloated. But overall, the final arc has been hit or miss, with some moments being great and others not as much. If it had been trimmed down a lot, it would have been for the best. But to give Horikoshi his flowers, the art has stayed amazing throughout the duration of the finale. Although the hit or miss, massively bloated final arc is a factor in MHA's diminished reputation, it isn't the only thing harming the series. I think 2 other key important factors to look at in regards to MHA's strange reputation as it ends are its fans and how dark shonen has taken over. We're seeing the rise of more cynical and dark manga like Kimetsu no Yaiba and Jujutsu Kaisen within the shonen space. These massively popular series make light-hearted and optimistic manga like MHA seem kind of childish in comparison. I mean, just examine the differences between Sukuna and Yuji, and Deku and Shigaraki. Yuji would end Sukuna in a heartbeat if he could, while Deku would waste chapters upon chapters trying to save Shigaraki from himself or something. This contrast is hard to deal with for a lot of manga fans, and has made a lot of people see MHA in a worse light. MHA also just has one of the strangest fan bases in all of manga and anime, which further repels people from the story. I don't really need to say much else. I've had nightmares about what I've seen from this community. From the shipping culture to the cosplay videos, all of it, just please stay away from it. Even past all of those problems which have hurt MHA recently, there are also just flaws with the series. Believe it or not, even peak MHA had problems. All of this puts MHA in a really strange spot as it ends. But today in this video, I just wanted to say, My Hero Academia is ending. This manga served as the gateway anime manga for so many people, including me. Even though now people act too cool for this series, everybody back in 2018 and 19 thought this manga was amazing. The story it's told in its decade-long run will stick with me forever. Every episode throughout season 1 had me as a kid practically cheering and getting goosebumps. The growth displayed throughout the series from every character is actually amazing. It's easy to say,
Deku's been an over-optimist for the entire series. No character development.
But Deku went from a spineless weakling to a wannabe hero, to a vigilante, and finally to a true hero. And every single important character has displayed growth. All Might has grown as a mentor, learning alongside his pupil. Shigaraki is childish and throws temper tantrums at the beginning, but by the end of the series, he's a real threatening villain. Todoroki goes from resentful and angsty to a stand-up hero who has the strength to forgive. Bakugo has evolved from a simple bully character to one of the best rivals in shonen. Endeavor went from an arrogant abuser to a man seeking redemption. Ito learns the importance of sticking to your values when it's hard and not allowing your judgment to be clouded. Otsuka learns what it means to be truly strong throughout the series and stand on her own. Every single character that matters in the story has grown immensely. And for a series aimed at young boys focused on going to superhero high school, what theme could be better than showing the great capacity we all have to grow? That no matter how weak or strong you start out, you can do anything. Sure, it's a little cliche, and that goes for basically the entire series, but as I see My Hero Academia ending, I can't help but feel a little sad, and super thankful for having this fun, simple, hype series to grow up alongside me. I've said it at least 4 times throughout this video, but My Hero Academia is ending, and I'm getting older. And unless time works differently for you, you are too. So go beyond, plus ultra. That's a wrap.